The other day, I woke up, and I don't know if this ever happens to you, but sometimes I have these brief moments of like, where am I? How did I end up here? It was almost like a playback of my life, and then I was waking up in Bali. I think even for me now, sometimes it's something I take for granted since I've traveled so much. But in those kind of moments, I am really shocked. Like, wow, life is really a wild journey. I was born in the ghetto. Crack addicts, gunfights, robberies, food stamps, Section 8, and government assistance. Going to college was already a victory since I was the first one in my immediate family to go to college. So, to be honest, my wildest dreams back then were so much smaller than my life that I'm living now. Like, I could not even fathom some of the things that I have experienced as this 30-year-old woman now back then. And eventually, I got out of the hood. I went off to college and I moved to New York City. And I got a really good job in the fashion industry. And for a while, that felt like enough. Getting out of the ghetto and making money and having all of the material needs, having all of my material needs met was literally like a dream. But after a few years of that, it became very clear to me that that kind of freedom was really not what I was looking for. And I really didn't understand what I even was looking for, but I still felt this sense of emptiness inside of myself. Even though I had all of these things on the surface, I thought that because I kind of escaped or made it out of the hood, and because now I had a little bit of money and I didn't have to struggle anymore, I really thought that that was all I needed. But both of these things are definitely necessary. It's necessary to have money. It's necessary to not be in inhospitable environments. These things are necessary for us to be able to have sort of a sense of stability and to be able to have our basic needs met because this is really important. And this is definitely something that I'm still, always reflecting on. But when I came to Bali for the first time 5 years ago, it became so clear to me that I was really looking for freedom of my mind and my heart. Since I was so young, I had learned to live with chronic stress because of the environment that I lived in. Like it was sort of like you just learned to live around those things and you learn to make the best of it. And sometimes I laugh because I study I'm studying cognitive based compassion training and social, emotional, and ethical learning at the moment. And we talk a lot about resilience and people gaining, you know, this resilience to life and being able to be strong and persevere and also to just be accepting of the changingness of life. And sometimes I laugh because I learned how to be so resilient, maybe even to a detrimental point. I know that sometimes we are born in what feels like unfavorable circumstances, or we even just experience unfavorable circumstances as we navigate life. Things happen, we have difficult relationships, we struggle with career changes and work, we, have trouble with all types of things, all types of things. I know like we all can come up with something that has just really been difficult for us in our life, emotional circumstances. Some of us might feel very depressed, or we might feel lost or confusion. Some of us might have physical ailments or things happen to us that physically impair us or that make us ill. So we all, come across challenging moments in life, and we might ask, why me? How can this be my life? Why was I born here? Why am I suffering from this? What did I do to deserve this? And I know I spent a lot of time thinking like that in my life. Sometimes I still do. But when I really reflect on how much motivation, determination, strength my suffering gave me growing up the way I did, I actually really genuinely feel grateful. And I know that can be so hard to do, and it's definitely taken time. It's taken a lot of perspective. I've been to therapy before, and Again, I've done a lot of, over the last years, just a lot of personal growth practices and just really reflecting on my inner world quite a bit. And I noticed that we can spend so much time blaming our circumstances or our parents, our environment, that we really might miss out on how these very things may give us something beautiful in return. I used to be so angry at my mom, my dad, my family. Some of us might say the cards that I was dealt, and I now change that to the cards that I dealt. I used to be so angry at so many people. I struggled with a lot of anger growing up from just feeling like, why? Like, how did this end up being my life? And now, now in my life, I can see how all of that pain and suffering, the struggle, the fear, the anxiousness, the violence I was surrounded by was really a key for me to want to open a different door. And the key opened the door to some of my wildest dreams. A few months ago, I was on a retreat in India with my teacher, a Buddhist monk, and we were meditating with a group of other practitioners. We were meditating and studying at Rajgriha. This is a place where the Heart Sutra was declared. In what world does a young girl from the ghetto, from the hood of Miami, end up in India receiving teachings and meditating with a Buddhist monk? In what world does that girl wake up in Bali? In what world does she stop chasing popularity and fame and start spending her time really trying to be benefit to other people? Well, in this world, because this is the reality of how the world works, and sometimes it just feels like a dream. All of it feels like this big dream. And what's so funny is that I know that my story is not special. Like, I'm not telling you something so profound or special by telling you my story. My story is also your story. We have all come from somewhere or come out of something that felt impossible. And we all have the same opportunity to keep growing and turning lemons into good lemonade. So wherever you are right now, mentally, emotionally, physically, no matter how shitty it might feel, no matter how stuck you feel, no matter how impossible it feels, there is so much potential in our suffering. And the more freedom and peace we can feel in our heart and mind, year after year is nothing but moment after moment, second after second, minute after minute, hour after hour, day after day, month after month. So impermanent. The situation that we feel so stuck in, it is so impermanent, and it changes like everything else. So again, there's so much potential in our suffering. The more freedom and peace we can feel in our heart and mind, after year lets us know that the suffering was just compost for a beautiful garden. And sometimes our suffering is actually our joy in disguise. It's the thing that puts us on the path to actually do what we are here to do, to share with the world what we are here to share with the world, to play the role and play the part that we are supposed to play. And for me, I've learned, and I'm still learning, that when I face suffering or when I face challenges, to try to look at them from a different perspective when I can, and perhaps see that this suffering might actually be my liberation.